welcome everyone to the Notary Node election AMA event with the Komodo team and the candidates. So let's first see who's on the call. So we got me as the host. I'm the Audo, the community relations officer. And then we have Tony Lusakov, the chief operating officer. Hello, Tony.
Hello, hello. Nice to be there.
And then we have Charles PTYX Gonzalez from business development. Hey, Charles.
Everyone.
And we have also SMK from the QA team. Hello.
Good evening all. How are we doing?
And then also we have on the hold Jason Polycryptoblog Brown from the business development, but he's at the moment unavailable, but will be taking some questions later. And then in the audience we have Sena recording this event and Delton taking notes about the answers that we will then later provide in a written form as well. And then also, let's not forget that we have operators in the audience as well, as we invited all the notary candidates to the event, and later on they will be jumping on and introducing themselves and giving a pitch on why they should get your vote. So basically the structure is going to be very simple. So the first segment is we are going to go over the AMA questions that we received to the Komodo team. And as soon as we have those answered, we are going to move to the candidate introductions and talk more about the elections and the election process and see who we should be voting for this season. But before we jump to the community questions, maybe perhaps first we could just get some general introduction on Notary Nodes and to dPoW and why do we have these in place. Maybe this is something, Tony, you would like to first kind of give us a brief overview on, and then if others can also jump in there after that.
Sure thing. Yeah. So, as many of you know, yes, dPoW is a system which was created to protect for consensus blockchains from the 51% attack. So, how is achieving it? Achieving by writing the state of the blockchain into another blockchain, which have a higher hash rate, so it's harder economically to attack that. So the notary nodes are kind of gatekeepers in this system. They have the full states of the blockchain, the full nodes, and all blockchains synced. And what they do actually is they're recording in a special transactions. At first, they're recording the state of every protected blockchain to the KMD blockchain, and then they're recording the state like a summarizing hash to the LTC blockchain. So in the end, there is a consensus on the like a blockchain state storing in the LTC blockchain. So it's kind of protected by the hash rate of LTC, because in this case you have to 51% attack LTC to disrupt the system. So yeah, in a few words, I can explain it like this.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So basically what we are here doing is voting the operators who will then be running the dPoW and protecting the Komodo ecosystem.
Yeah, you can imagine it like a castle, and yeah, the notary nodes operators like a guards in this castle.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. SMK or PTY, do you guys want to jump in here? Anything to add?
Yeah, it might be a little bit technical, but basically the notarization, it's sort of a message that we send in op return of a transaction on the Litecoin blockchain, which more or less gets stored in on-chain data, and we can decode that, and it tells us the chain that we notarized, what block hash and block height was notarized, and it's sort of checkpointing, so if anything goes wrong, we have a point of truth behind us. Yeah, you'll have to excuse me if I am a bit slow. I am Australian, and yeah, it's pretty late, and I haven't had much sleep the last couple of days. Cheers.
Yeah. Thanks for joining the event. I know it's very late over there. But okay then, I think those were like excellent answers to give us a little bit of technical background on dPoW and notary nodes. And now what is happening basically is that everyone who holds KMD, you guys have received vote 2022 tokens. And regarding that, like the Golden Man is asking the first question, which is then like, which are the wallets that will be supporting this vote 2022 token?
Oh yeah, so far what we did is we released the AtomicDEX for sure with the vote 2022 inside. So it's already available for the mobile in test flight and Google Play test mode as well. So you can just update your AtomicDEX. As well for the desktop, you can find it in our GitHub and releases pages. Also, the hardware web wallet tool will support, it should already support the vote 2022 token, and also Komodo Ocean, which is running by Decker and Ocean. And I've seen that quite soon the various wallet might support this voting token, so you can use your seed in one of these wallets, and yeah, you should be able to vote. The voting process is already ongoing. You can check the results on the website vote.dexstats.info. And yeah, so to vote, you can simply just you can find all the proposals on this website, and you can read it. You can select the candidates you like, and to vote, all you have to do is just send your vote tokens to the address which this candidate specified, and you have to do it until the May 25th, and yeah, elections will end on midnight, May 25th. So yeah, there are still 2 weeks to do that. So you can take time and read proposals and then make your choice.
Yeah, it's gonna be really easy to vote. Like basically, the candidates are spamming the address for the vote token or coin, and then whatever wallet you use, let's say AtomicDEX, then you basically just send the vote coin in AtomicDEX to the address of the candidate. So quite a simple process, simple and works very well. But okay, let's move to the next question, and this question is a little background. So every year we do these elections and select the new candidates. Then we also do like a Komodo chain update. So regarding that, Regnar is asking, are there any additional changes to KMD besides the notary keys taking place during this year's update? And then he adds, quote, I seem to recall there was a block size increase during an election before. Just wondering if there's others this year too.
Yeah, so we've got a couple of changes Decker and Audo have been working on. Nothing related with block size or anything like that, but just sort of to mitigate. We've had a couple of periods over the last few months where blocks were progressing quite slowly, so it'd slow down swaps and other things like that. And like I said, Decker and Audo have been working on a fix for that to sort of mitigate that and have a little bit more of a less of a variance in range of block times. So it should be a little bit more, not quite a metronome, but heading towards that.
Awesome. Anything for you guys to add to SMK's answer?
Yeah, SMK's answer was quite precise. Yes, this year there will be no such major changes as block size. But yeah, we have to mitigate the problem with some transactions disappearing. So yeah, so it will be slight consensus changes.
Okay, awesome. Then let's go to the next one. Here we have Mr. asking, are Binance and the rest of the centralized exchange wallets excluded from the vote? So meaning like can centralized exchange vote with the coins that they have from the other users?
No, any known address from a centralized exchange will be an invalid vote if it is sent to an address.
Right, got it. So only the normal people, if you hold your coins in a wallet, then you are only able to vote in that case.
Otherwise, Binance would have all the nodes.
Yeah, they do have like a certain percent of supply in their wallet.
Okay, then we have SMK quite sneakily asking a question. Are there any crypto puzzles in some of these proposals? And perhaps SMK, you can tell us like what there. It seems like there are. Where can you tell us more?
There's at least two I know of. One is if you have a look at Decker's proposal, he'll link you to where he's hidden some KMD. And I've also got one hidden within the QR code of my proposal. There might be a couple more, I'm not 100% sure. But you know, as Notary Node operators, we do like to give back and entertain the community from time to time with little puzzles like this. I did do a couple last year. I'm not sure if anyone's cracked them yet. I might have to make them a little bit easier. But if you want to go and have a look on Reddit, there was a cartoon comp around Christmas time, and I think that one's still unsolved. So, yeah, have a chance.
How much is in that one?
I'll have to check. Might have been 100 or 200 KMD, but remind me later, and I'll confirm.
Sure.
Awesome. So be sure to check those out and earn some KMD through solving the puzzle. So with that, let's move to the next question. And this is from Alison M2000. And she's asking about notary test. So how do notary test mediate Komodo's DEX technology and a premium product that scalable, and when will the next test take place?
Yeah, it's a pretty good question. Actually, the main purpose of a dPoW is to protect the blockchains, right, from the attack. But for the AtomicDEX, the benefit is that these protected assets can be traded safely, and so you can trade a large sum without and don't be afraid that your transaction will be reverted by a blockchain reorg. So if swap is protected by dPoW, it's more safe because you can put less confirmation, let's say, and just wait for the notarization. And that's how it's interconnected in the ecosystem.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I think she was asking about the next test. That might have been a stress test on AtomicDEX. As far as I know, I don't think we've got one scheduled at the moment. The last one was quite successful. Had huge improvements on the one before that. But yeah, we might, if it comes up that we need to check again and tweak further, we will hold one. But at the moment, it's pretty stable. It can handle a lot more load than is needed at the moment.
With the WebDEX around the corner, we might do one for that.
I mean, we did test internally in a testnet, and we can handle thousands of swaps and per minute. So it can handle much more than we do have now. So we are ready for swapping spikes. Can handle really many of trades, and the network is scalable. If you will need to scale it, just more seed nodes can be added, and we'll be able to handle more trades. For now,
Yeah, it would be awesome to showcase really like the strength and stability of the DEX network. And here I also want to point out so it's super clear that of course the DEX network is different from the Notary Node network, like they are separate technology layers, not really related to each other. All right, let's go to the next question. We have Macher asking, is there a limited number of users who can participate in the AtomicDEX Notary Testnet 2022? Are the spaces limited?
I'm sure there's an upper limit. I've never had enough to try. We run with 64 nodes in the mainnet, so it can handle definitely at least that much. I'm sure it could handle double that if we needed to. At the moment, there's 16 people in the testnet, so we've still got plenty of space if anybody wants to join in. And you don't have to be a candidate to join in. If you're curious, you just want to check it out, maybe you want to see what it's all about and have a shot next year, you're more than welcome to join. Just DM me a pub key and I'll show you how to get in there.
Perfect. Then let's move on as time is running low. Next we have these series of questions are more related to other technologies and like AtomicDEX and KMD. Like there's sort of questions we received about the price of KMD, of course, because of the ongoing bear market. So we felt like we also need to try to answer this one as well. So here we go. So LBDCit011 is asking, what could be done to prevent the constant price fall of KMD? And he also had like other related questions about growing the ecosystem and what could we do to kind of help and so on. So kind of like, yeah, KMD related question and use cases and so on. So who would like to give some sort of take on this?
I think like internally we've discussed mechanisms to improve the downwards pressure on the KMD token, but none of those things will be implemented like on the short term. And of course, you know, like focusing on price is never good, but we've discussed you know, ways of like absorbing the KMD float to decrease the downwards pressure on the token. And I think once the utility is implemented into the DEX and the other apps that we're building, there will be much more need to hold KMD. And this should also basically decrease the amount of selling of the token, and it will increase the amount of people actually holding it, because they're going to need it to actually use the DEX to get, you know, rewards from the DEX and a few other things. So I think it goes hand in hand, the plan to implement utility and then other plans of absorbing some of the KMD float on the market and decreasing the sell pressure on the token.
So we've discussed things like discounted trading fees on the DEX if you pay through KMD. The other thing on AtomicDEX, it's the widest or the deepest pair. So basically if you want to do a trade and you can't do a straight trade between two coins, odds are you can probably go through KMD to do that. We've also discussed ABC swaps a little bit, although there are a few potential hazards there. And the other thing I could say to reduce sell pressure is get your KMD off exchanges, hold it in your own wallet. You know, there's a whole bunch of places that'll offer you staking rewards and this and that. But as you can see with Luna, these things can fall crumbling into a heap pretty quickly. Your best bet is always to keep the coins in your own wallet, and then that way you can't have a centralized exchange doing like leverage trading or, you know, basically the things that fiat did and destroyed itself with. Trying to avoid doing the same thing with crypto.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. Fractional reserve banking system, they lend the money and do whatever with it.
By the way, there is
Yeah.
already 10% taker fee discount if you are using KMDS taker coin in AtomicDEX. So there's already some utility on this end. But yeah, regarding the price, yeah, it determines by supply and demand for sure. And yeah, one possible solution is to looking for ways to reduce the supply, and it's possible by some burns and by some, let's say, this user rewards reducing, and yeah, way like users might not get this holding rewards, but their token might potentially cost more, right? But it's just an idea. And yeah, another side is a demand, and yeah, we are currently brainstorming quite actively on how to tie it with the AtomicDEX ecosystem, because yeah, it was not pre-planned. AtomicDEX concept was developed because it's kind of anyway bleeding edge technology, yeah, like a pioneering. So yeah, still needs to be brainstormed. But yeah, we are working on that.
Yeah, we've had a few discussions of ways to reduce the inflationary pressure, but we didn't sort of want to rush anything before this Notary Node election. But yeah, over the course of the next year, we'll definitely be testing a few other things and running the numbers and so on to make it a more ideal system.
Yeah, and in any case, it should be some holders and community consensus in the end.
Yeah, and there are already one item on the roadmap as well regarding this, and which is like discounted KMD training fees, which I'm looking forward to. And talking about the roadmap, the next question is about that one. So that is Macher asks, I read that Komodo intends to build its own secure wallet and non-custodial decentralized exchange wallet into one application. Its name is AtomicDEX. I'm particularly keen on how will you do it. Currently, what feature of AtomicDEX do you focus mainly your attention with? Can you please share us the roadmap of Komodo project and what are the plans for the coming second quarter of 2022?
We don't intend to build it. We have already built it and we are still continuing to improve and build it. So the main focus at the moment would be pirate integration, lightning swap capability. But there's a whole bunch of things that we're working on and researching all at the same time. I think Solana integration was on the list as well. But yeah, the best place to get that sort of information is to have a look at the GitHub issues and pull requests, and you'll kind of see what we have intended and what we're working on currently.
Yeah, I mean, right now the quite huge milestone for us is coming, the WebDEX, the browser DEX, which using the WASM compilated API binary, and it will be available quite soon for the public testing in a few weeks. Yes, SMK 8. It's about the pirate integration, Lightning protocol, and a couple more protocols. We're actively working on the hardware wallets integration into the AtomicDEX to make it even more secure. And yeah, some other protocols such as Solana, quite a huge thing. And yeah, actually, all that you can check in our roadmap for AtomicDEX. It's roadmap.atomicdex.io, and here items divided by quarters, and you can see if it's in progress or upcoming or done. And yeah, there's quite precise information for now.
Yeah, and then there's also roadmap.komodoplatform.com that you can check out as well. And then that leads to the next question, which is on the roadmap, and that is about when is the WebDEX alpha coming?
Oh yeah, we are cooking. It's ready, like pretty usable. We just want to make some last minute polishments. Right now, it's quite feature complete. The only feature is missing is a bridge. It's like a half baked, but we want to include it a lot into the first public alpha to showcase the possibilities which it creates. So yeah, the current plan is to make it available in 2-3 weeks from now. And yeah, so far everything going accordingly to this plan. So I do not expect any major delays on this end. I already can can use it as a wallet, can trade, and yeah, it should be pretty good for the alpha stage. But yeah, community will decide for sure, and users. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this.
Yeah, I had a bit of a play with it too. I might be biased, but I thought it was pretty cool.
I'm excited about the bridge tab.
Yeah, what is that? Can you tell us briefly on what is the bridge tab?
The bridge tab is just like a window in the WebDEX that allows you to swap one-to-one cross chain. So for example, you would be able to select USDT on a BEP20 chain, and you'd be able to swap it to the AVAX chain or to ERC20. So it's like a watered down, simple version of the DEX. So if you imagine what the simple swap, where you just select the coin amount and swap, it's like that, but just for the same coin across different chains. And the idea is to compete with these other bridges that are constantly getting hacked and are having a lot of issues. And AtomicDEX actually already does this, but most people don't know that because the user interface is complex. So the bridge tab simplifies that, and it lets people bridge assets from one chain to the other. I think the bridge is interesting because, in my opinion, the bridge is the strongest use case for the DEX. The way that the AtomicDEX works is very different than AMM's, and the bridge plays towards all of the strengths of the AtomicDEX, which is security, reliability, and when you're bridging assets from one chain to the other, the biggest problem isn't speed. A lot of people aren't expecting speed. What they're expecting is security. And with many of the bridges available, like Wormhole, Polygon bridges, and even the Binance bridge has had issues. The Ronin bridge recently got hacked for over $500 million. So I have a strong feeling that the bridge is going to be one of the most polished use cases for the AtomicDEX, and it also creates a very easy way, or it's a more straightforward path for somebody to provide liquidity, because you're not providing liquidity for volatile pairs. So for liquidity providers on the bridge, they would be able to provide liquidity for USDT on Binance chain and USDT on ERC20 chain, and it won't fluctuate much, and they will still make profit off of it. Yeah, I think it's an interesting proposition for the DEX, and we'll see how it turns out. But to me, that's the thing that I'm most excited about these coming months.
Yeah, certainly. That's a great feature. I'm also looking forward to. But now we have to start moving forward. Like we are at the end of this segment 1. And there were many questions that we just didn't get time to get to, but I think most of them we answered in some way or another. There's just one more I want to read that we can answer very briefly here, because I think this should be like insightful question, especially for the newcomers. So Samude is asking, what mechanism makes it possible for Komodo to have such low fees? Will those users who want KMD have discounts on transaction fees on AtomicDEX? So like how come Komodo fees are so low?
No, it's just a consensus rules plus KMD price determines that. So miners agrees to include transactions with such fee into the blocks and set by consensus, and the price of KMD like this. Yeah, that's why its fees actually has such amount. Yeah, there is no rocket science, just consensus.
We're not sort of like Ethereum with the gas model and everything else. So there's basically, the fees are just the fees. There's no sort of hidden taxes or anything else like that. And we've also got sort of scalability solutions so that if it does come to a point where we do have a bottleneck, we can overcome that in a much simpler way than Ethereum is attempting to do, as far as I know.
Yeah, definitely. It's a part of our philosophy, and the very reason why Komodo was even launched in the first place is was to not have a gas model. All right, but now it's time to move to the next segment, which is about the candidates and who to vote for. And I was notified that the Mamara professor is on a short time and would like to join the call to give an introduction about the Mamara candidate. So let's invite him onto the stage as the very first thing before we do anything else. All right, so welcome. What can you tell us about Mamara and your candidacy?
Good evening to everyone from Istanbul. I am in wedding ceremony for my cousin, unfortunately. So I just escaped for a while. So I am just trying to listen as much as possible. Marmara team is there anyway. They are listening and contributing. I think this is a great time again for notarization period. I can say about from Turkey, I am very positive about Komodo technologies because we have been discussing with the vice, president of our university and other president of our university. I am talking to them about Komodo as Linux of blockchain. I was just discussing actually half an hour ago, and during daytime until evening, I was in the university today. And people were asking, "Oh, cryptocurrencies they're all collapsed, or what happened?" Especially Solana, USD, and other things. We had actually good discussions with them on academic level. Many people actually are, very interested in crypto. I just tell them, now, 2 or 3 years ago, blockchain was just like a baby, because babies cannot walk for the first time. They have to just go around without using their legs. So I told them, this is very interesting thing. Actually, for the DeFi projects, I want on Twitter why they will collapse because they are actually imitating the banking system in a bad way. Most of the DeFi systems. Why? Because some people, they just have some liquidities in somewhere, and they try to keep stable coins, so-called stable coins, especially USD. In a way to back up USD with some kind of basket of currencies. I was warning them actually 2 years ago when DeFi project started. As you know, DeFi, the greatest DeFi project is in Komodo platform with Marmara chain, because I will just tell about postage checks, promissory notes. In pandemic era, in last year, for example, let me tell about the figures. More than half of the economy in Turkey now run actually with the postage checks and promissory notes. And what is non-redemption ratio? It is very interesting. Much lower than banking system. It is only 1.3%. You see, people, because it is a very good money creation mechanism without any interest actually, without requiring banks. I go this way and explain to people, and this may be an actually international universal case. And many people actually, we go this way now, that Komodo technologies with the AtomicDEX and all other things are very good actually opportunity for all people in the world. So like AtomicDEX today, for example, I was just discussing in a university cafe. They were talking about again these crypto issues, why it is falling down something. I just told one guy, okay, you have account in on Binance. Turkey has the highest, I think, in the Europe with the investors on blockchain cryptocurrencies. It is very high percentage. Most of the people actually keep on Binance or other, central exchanges. And the FODEX case with $1 billion, nearly $1 billion, the person just escaped from Turkey. I know also some people, they also told me, some of them told me how, for example, one person had $5 million dollars, 5 million Turkish liras in FODEX before it went, bankrupt. So actually, we are on a good position with Komodo technologies. And for example, I told Dean was actually telling me yesterday. I informed them about the notarization system, how it is unique in the world. Suppose I tell them, you have a small blockchain initially. First of all, Komodo makes you independent of any blockchain, so you don't depend on something. But when you actually start your chain, you are weak, against 51% attacks. And then how Komodo is, managing this? He said, why didn't you tell this before? So if you have third time, candidacy, please tell us. We don't know about the, cases. So I told them also, I sent the notarization links to our president of the university. Marmara University is very big, as you know, in Istanbul, Marmara region. We have 85,000 students and 10,000 academic and administrative staff. So I think after this event, notarization event, we will have also on the university level some news about this, and of course it takes time for people to know about this. I tell them, okay, now blockchain is in walking stage, like babies. Now we can walk. Of course, when we walk first time, we will fall down all the time. But of course, now blockchain is really very good alternative for banking system. And I tell them, please use your currency that you can actually stake or mine. So these are very important, of course, topics. Buy meatballs. This is my actually slogan after 2016. I tell them, use your currency in real economy. So if you use in real economy, you will not talk about these volatile cases. Because why we have volatility? Because we don't buy, houses, we don't buy cars, or we don't, like Heinz, Heinz bought pizza for 10,000, bitcoins. Actually, he's a hero, and we should be heroes like him. Now, when we rely on central exchanges only, these exchanges, central exchanges have on their, boards some limited number of coins, and as we know, they can pump and dump. So we cannot find the real, value of the coins. So we should have campaigns, and actually this year in the university we have started actually the campaigns like buying meatballs, buying toasts and other sandwiches, for example, having teas with the cryptos. So by this way, we can spread this. Normally, for in Turkey, as I said, most of the people, it is the highest, as I said, with the percentage, with the, cryptocurrency investment. Unfortunately, most of them, I asked them, for example, we have some polls, where do you keep your, money, currencies? Believe me, most of the people don't have any, accounts. So I just tell them, you just go to AtomicDEX IO. I open and I just send them whatever available, like 10 MCL or a few Komodos or Tokel or anything from Komodo platform. That's it. Your coins are actually, your keys are your coins. So you don't rely on anyone. Please go and try to convince someone to buy a cup of coffee, for example. I think by this way, we will spread the Komodo technologies. We really stand on very good technology, thanks to really JL 777 and other team members. We are very happy. So I don't want to keep long. Tony and other, members here, really fantastic. This is. I think we will all together change the world. Please don't be upset with the fall of anything. I just want to remind anyone in the people here, among the people. So please believe in the technologies of the Komodo, and of course, believing is only happening by using it in real, economy, in your wallets. Go and just send, for example, few coins to someone, because it is now very easy to use with the AtomicDEX. Really, I just today, for example, there's another professor, a friend of mine. He said, "What is happening?" And he actually 10 minutes ago sent a message saying that, "Oh, Bitcoin has fallen down 20% or something." Now they are following. I tell them, don't worry about this. This will be, because they will be finding their real value when we use them in real economies. I think this is the way we should. I don't want to take your time much. Thanks very much for opportunity.
Yeah.
So
thanks a lot for all the great points and like kind words. Like indeed, like Komodo is a legacy project and be here for a while, like solving like the blockchain problems and creating these new technologies. And you also been a while in our community and ecosystem. You started your own project, the Mamara, and now you're running as a candidate in Notary Node. So guys, be sure to send some vote to Professor and the Mamara team. But now the time is running low. We have also other candidates, so we have to.
Thank you very much.
Move on.
Okay. So my team members will inform me about the details. So please allow me for the wedding ceremony now. Thanks very much again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. Thank you a lot.
Okay, so in actuality, like we have total of 49 candidates in total. Not everyone could make it here today to this event, but we do have some. So just feel free to raise your hand, and we will pull you in groups to the stage where you can give an introduction and pitch about your candidacy. But before we jump to the next candidate, maybe we can still briefly explain more about the voting process in general, like how this works, what can the people look for, like how to vote basically. Like if I'm a newcomer, the first time I hear about this, so there's these 4 regions: Europe, North America, Southern Hemisphere, and Asia and Russia. And they're these candidates, and they are telling me to send the votes. So how do I go about this? Who would like to give like a short support guide for anyone out there?
Yeah, I can jump in there. Voting is very simple. It's just the same as sending crypto from your wallet to another address. Basically, the candidate addresses are all listed in a GitHub repository for their candidate proposals. To find a good candidate who you want to vote for, you can have a look through those proposals. Some of them have different things, like they might contribute a set percentage to one of the projects in the ecosystem. So if you support Tokel or Pirate or Mamara, some of the teams will devote some of their notary earnings to that. You can also check the stats of last year's operators. So the top operators do get auto re-elected, and depending on rankings and how long you've been around and how reliable you are, you have eligibility to get to other spots. First year you can only run for one spot, but yeah, after that, if you do well, you can expand from there. Scores aren't the only measure though. I've got some pretty detailed metrics of notary operator stats which show me things like, you know, how quickly people have updated after something was announced and things like that. And I can say, like, for example, the Mamara team, although they're not at the top of the table or anything else, those guys did a good job updating in a timely fashion, and we do appreciate that. You'll also, having a look through Discord, you'll see some of the, you'll probably recognise some names of candidates, people that contribute great resources to the ecosystem, like Chemex with DEX stats. WebWorker does some stats stuff as well. And then just, I don't know, other guys are writing articles and, you know, actively contributing to the ecosystem like that. So yeah, have a look, see who you recognise, check out their proposals. And the only other thing I've got to say is you don't have to send all your vote to one person. You can split it up across however many candidates that you'd like to support as you feel.
Yeah, that was an excellent explanation. So now it's time to hear from the candidates. If there's anyone out there in the audience, just raise your hand, request to join the stage, and then you can give an intro. All right, we got the next one. Peace.
All right, so I am Biz. This is my second year running for a Notary Node position. Last year, I believe I came in 13th in my region, so just narrowly missed a spot. However, I have been intending to run once again since that time. I'll go briefly through my proposal and just kind of list some of the things I've done over the last year. Since April 2019, I've been working on integrating my independent project, which is based on Monero, called Blur, with delayed proof of work. I was approached by JL777 some years ago with interest in, you know, a third-party integration there. Over the last year, I've strengthened my involvement definitely within the Komodo community. A lot of that has centered around work with Chips blockchain. I oversaw an upgrade to version 22.0 of Bitcoin source code, integrated that with dPoW, and made sure that we could actually notarize to Komodo's chain. We had a couple successful notarizations. Some members of the Chips community, SOSane helped me out with that as well. I did a video walkthrough to accompany that large codebase upgrade, and also partially ported NSPV to the upgraded codebase. More recently, I've been working with Varus and some of their PBAAS software. Have been typing up a couple reference documents as well. One of those accompanies the Chips upgrade review, and the other one is for Varus PBAS that is currently a work in progress. We'll go down to the Why Vote Biz section just briefly. I'll try to keep this short. Basically, all of my work over the past 3 years has centered around delayed proof of work and integrating this with third-party code bases. So I am intimately familiar with how this works under the hood. I participated in the testnet last year and have not submitted a pub key for the testnet yet this year, but plan to do so. This year, I think, reflects my consistent desire to further strengthen my technical involvement in the Komodo ecosystem. In the event that, you know, I am elected and stuff, we'll have, I'll be a technical liaison for both KMD and Blur, any future Monero-based integrations with dPoW. And, you know, just being a Notary Node operator will allow me both, you know, a way to work with my, work in the most hands-on way with delayed proof of work as I'm doing these integrations, as well as the passive income from, you know, should price go back up, that passive income will allow me to focus even more time within the Komodo ecosystem. I've been around for a while, so I'll be here and available every day. I also have some KMD ecosystem contributions that are planned, a total of 15% of my Notary Node rewards in excess of server costs. So that comes out of, you know, any profits that are not covering those server costs will be donated back into KMD ecosystem projects. 9% of that will go to Blur dPoW development, 3% to Chips development, and 3% to Toggle development. Those calculations will be made at the beginning of the month for the month prior each month. You can find my proposal page under the name who-biz on the candidates page. And thank you guys for your time. Always enjoy working with you guys and talking to everybody within the Komodo ecosystem.
Yeah, thanks, Peace, and thanks for all the past contributions you have made.
Of course.
All right, and it seems like we have new people also joining here. So we have CA, Double Tree, and Polycryptoblog. Welcome.
Hello, hey, how are you?
We are good. We are just talking with the candidates, but now if there's any questions you guys have for CA or for Polycryptoblog, then just type them to the Vote 2020 channel or even come to the stage and ask something. But before we move to those questions, let's see if there's other candidates that would like to give a brief intro and a pitch. Just raise your hand. Okay, we have Web Worker.
Hi everybody, I'm WebWorker01. I've been a Notary Node operator with Komodo for 4 years, and I've submitted a proposal for maintaining a position for a 5th year in North America. I'm also extended my proposal to run a node in the EU region, as I run all the rest of my servers in the EU and have resources there already. Generally, my contribution and involvement to Komodo has been with the KomodoStats.com website. I maintain a few repositories for running notary nodes and some basic tools to dabble with the command line based AtomicDEX market maker software. Generally, my funds that come from running Notary Node will help increase my involvement with that type of software. Over the past few years, my nodes have been anywhere from 1st place to, I think, probably 4th place was the highest or lowest. So my understanding of how the system works at this point, I feel, is pretty strong. But in general, my contributions, seeing as I'm not actually an official Komodo team member, is generally been things that, if they fit my skill set of either scripting some development or otherwise, I'll try to pitch in if I can. But I'm, just going to keep it short and say, I'm a longtime supporter of Komodo. I generally believe in the dPoW model, and also very much looking forward to, I'm actually very excited about the WebDEX coming up. I think that'll help a lot with adoption. So, please take a look at my proposal for the rest of contributions I made to the ecosystem, and consider me for a position. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, WebWorker. Great to hear also from you. And then this time is kind of limited here, so if there's others, just raise your hand. But as we wait for the next one to come, I have a question for myself for both CA and Poly. So first to CA, everyone here is really hyped up about the WebDEX. So what can you tell us about the progress of the development, and what you personally think? Why are you excited about the WebDEX, and why is this a huge thing for Komodo?
Hey, so great question. I think in terms of why I think it's such a big deal, the main reason is just the level of simplicity, this next iteration and the evolvement into this Web3 compatible piece of tech is, right. That's to me really probably the most exciting thing. in terms of what you can expect from this, right? Like there's a variety of things that's rolling out, as major feature additions through the WebDEX, right? We're talking about, hardware wallet support, HD wallet support, a lot of things. We're exploring like MetaMask and similar, web wallet, technologies, the adoption of these, and so on. So there's really like a variety of like super exciting, feature additions that I think increase the usability level to such a crazy degree, and that makes it like to me a big deal, right? We're even like exploring on-chain trading capabilities, and it's kind of like adding new trading protocols in terms of using like native on-chain trading protocols. We know on ERC, on BP20, on Polygon, on Solana, etc. They all have like on-chain trading protocols, right, for swapping, etc. And the idea is to basically not always use the AtomicDEX swap protocol when you execute a swap, because sometimes it makes more sense to use like an on-chain swap contract. It's cheaper, etc. So what we ultimately doing is adding kind of like a swap routing protocol that will like take the most efficient, cheapest, fastest path for an end user to execute like an atomic swap, right? And so really in terms of where this is evolving, it's gonna be something great, right? We're probably like from at least like from the simple trading view perspective, it's like as easy as using your mobile phone or your tablet or a hybrid device or your laptop or whatever, right, to just like access the DEX like through a web browser. And imagine you could like choose between like different networks, different swap protocols, etc. And if all even like happens fully automatic, right? Like so a user wouldn't even have like to worry about the optimal configuration, but the app would be like as smart as picking like the best possible route for end user. So that's one of like the main exciting items for this tech stack for me. I hope it answers your questions. Thank you.
Yeah, indeed. Great answer. And Tony already told us that the WebDEX Alpha is nearly here, and everyone's really looking forward to that. But okay, we will go for more questions later. But now we have the next candidate joining the stage, which is Pioneer Barv. Hi there.
Hey, nice to have you all on this call. Very happy to be here. So I'm involved with Komodo, I think, for 5 years now. Introduced by my son. I was actually still playing around with Next at that time. And I believe in this world of many chains, and I really like the dPoW concept and how to secure many chains, how to make it possible, and of course also the whole DEX development, where there is, in my opinion, really a need for secure bridges and secure DEXs alongside all the on-chain DEXs that are very popular nowadays, but also cause a lot of problems. So my power is in organizing communities, and I hoped I could have done more the past year, but Corona was a big bummer here in the Netherlands, so it wasn't really a fruitful environment to organize events and such. So I'm really planning to do that also with the notary funds again. For this year, that we can have more communities, more presentations about technology, get people involved, onboard people, like the professor of the Mamara chain is doing as well. Make a lot of new people to become comfortable with crypto and with wallets, etc. Komodo Pioneers is a small team. My real name is Bart, and the other guy's real name is also Bart. And Audo is kind of also connected to us. And the other Bart is not in this call, but he's more the technical kind of guy. And it's also nice. This year was a good learning curve for him. He was supported by Milo. Yeah, that's of course also a guy most of you know. And yeah, we try to get better and better in managing this Notary Node, and we hope to get another shot this season. So we're ready for it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Barb. And then if there's any other still candidate wanted to come up, then just raise your hand and he will be here. But as again we wait for the next one, I have now a question for Polly next. And this one is about there's been a lot of recent discussion in the Discord about like KMD use cases and things like that, and you'll be very active in chatting and telling about your kind of effort and vision and thoughts on this topic. So could you perhaps like recap and tell everyone on what have you been planning and researching?
Yeah, so it's been quite a while now, I guess over a year, that I've been researching different things about, in economics, governance, analyzing what's worked with different coins, what hasn't worked, where have we, made missteps, where, things that we've done that have been successful, and kind of just putting together everything that, works, and to basically have our coin really gain some traction and have some purpose. So like one of the things that's always been I guess you would go like complained about is like what's the purpose of KMD. So like initially the purpose was for utilization dPoW. However we overestimated quite greatly the interest in creating one's own chain. So one of the things that we have been discussing is utilizing KMD within AtomicDEX as like a mechanism to get severely reduced fees. We're still hashing out the plans for this, and this would require one of the swap variations that the American call option swap that we are currently researching. However, this will allow us to like people to pay a fee in KMD, and for doing so for a certain amount of time, say a month or so, they would be able to trade at a severely reduced discount, like a flat fee. So say something like 10 cents a trade or 25 cents a trade or something priced in fiat as opposed to straight crypto. Now, this doesn't mean the current method will be going away, because we don't. One of the Komodo's ethos is never to force people to do to use our ecosystem, and keeping in line with that, we keep the original percentage fee mechanism. However, it's just in terms of prudence, like it would be better for people to use the flat fee, just for their own money, or else they'll lose out a bunch in fees, right? So kind of just like a common sense thing. Other than that, we've been looking into like adjusting the economics around KMD. We've had due to the active user reward and just the general mining rewards, quite a high bit of inflation. So we need to really cut that down to nil or very low. In fact, we actually should be working towards like deflation. So we're plotting mechanisms for that right now as well. So it's pretty like a lot of the high level stuff. I plan on writing out a full document and regarding everything in a more easy to digest form, and presenting it to the community at some point here in the next couple of months. Because one person doesn't make decisions for entire community, right? Everyone has to have their input, and if the community comes up with good ideas that are practical, reasonable, we have no problem including them in, and if they have problems with some of the ideas that we present, we want to hear about it too for, and weigh out the options, and an alternative if we agree, come to agree and said it is a problem, we need to do something about it. So over the next few months, or actually this next upcoming year, there's going to be a lot of discussions on this. So stay tuned in our Discord channels, and be prepared to discuss the future of KMD. And this is your chance to have a hand in the destiny of the project. So I hope everyone contributes.
Awesome, yeah, that sounds really good. Is there anyone else here wants to follow up on what Poly was saying, like CA or P2I, Tony?
Go ahead, CA.
Well, thanks. I was just going to say that I think he summarized it pretty well. To spot that it's in the interest of the team, right? Like to form the tokenomics towards the interest of the project and the core vision.
Exactly, yeah. I think that's 100%. And it's something, in regards to the tokenomics, the use case of KMD, we are constantly thinking about it. So it's not like we're ignoring things. And I think, Poly basically summed up, some of the important points to look forward in the coming months, the coming year.
Yeah, I think this was a very positive message about this topic, and I also look forward to trying to pick everyone's brain and try to distill the information and share the info with the community so that we are making everyone aware of what we were thinking, and like Polly was saying, just include everyone in the discussion and decision making, so have the full transparency and we make Komodo great. So let's get Dr. Kush here and anyone else who's still not introduced themselves. So hello, Dr. Kush.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, my English is very limited, but I propose my candidate for Notary Node for season 6. I follow Komodo ecosystem since 4 years, but my English is very limited is limited my implication, but I learn this for join you soon. I'm full stack web developer oriented JavaScript, and currently I'm teacher in web dev and creation of application type and tier architecture. I was a notary node during last season 5, and I really enjoy using the tools offered by Komodo. It's very good work. It's very good work communities. I was in the mid rank all season. For me, it's a very good result. And I work my scripting bash, and Notary Node. It's very good opportunity to evolve in this. I share a lot basic architecture on my GitHub. Discord bot communicating with Komodo blockchain on RPC, RPC, and I have architecture in Vue 2 and Node.js communicating with all Komodo asset chain. And this year, I'm making a templater, a tools for create website in the Vue 3 and Node.js in ECMAScript 6 in back. And I think to make open source module for connect to Komodo API. I like share this project for my student. All project is or on my GitHub. This name on my GitHub is x.dr.kush, donc XDRKUSH. Some worth updating. I thank Komodo team. I wish to be re-elected because I'm very interesting to evolve in this dPoW technology. I love the philosophy to independent technology, and Komodo ecosystem for blockchain is the very, very best project. For me, is good communities. And don't forget for vote for Dr.kush. Thank you everyone and good election to all. And I'm very, very pleased to work with you and make a tool together. Thank you, everything.
Thank you.
And sorry, but it's very difficult for me to talk with you because when you talk, I don't understand very well. It's very complicated for me. Sorry.
Yes,
Thanks.
it's true. We are all from different regions and we all have like an accent, like myself as well. So if I have a Finnish accent, and it might be hard to understand the accents for like foreigners. Yeah, and I totally agree also, like the Komodo community is very strong, and that can be really seen by all the candidates who even just today joined the stage and explained the list of stuff that they've been working on. Like everyone is super busy and everyone is doing like constant contributions. So it's really great to have the Notary network. It's a big part of Komodo. So thanks everyone for all the candidates, really, for past and present.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else from the audience still want to introduce yourself?
I just want to remind like anyone voting to always, if you're not sure who to vote for, always take a look at like who's actually doing work for the ecosystem. And I know, like for example, like Web Worker, Computer Genie. There's people that are always around, and they're actually, like Decker, and I can't even mention all of them, but you can tell, like in the community who's contributing. So if you're trying to make up your mind who to vote for, just, try to pick somebody who's actually contributing to the project.
So just to add to what Dr. Kush was saying, another one of the benefits of running a Notary Node is you get to play with the tech at a deeper level, and there's a lot that you can learn there. If you've got a project in mind, something that you want to build, it's a great way to increase your understanding to be able to do that, and even earn a little bit of side income to put towards creating that project.
And also, if you're new and you're not really sure who's who, like, don't be afraid to ask on the channels. So, for example, the Vote 2022 is a good channel just to ask, like, everyone's opinion, like, who are the most active candidates. And already, like, if you scroll up in the message log there, you can see that there were, like, a number of people sharing their insight into, like, kind of who's been active and contributing and so on. So, just ask if you are unsure or want to know something. There's always someone to answer. All right, but this is like the final chance to raise the hand and come to the stage and give an introduction. And if you don't get anything, we're gonna wrap it up. So I see no hands, so let's wrap up the event. So thanks a lot for everyone for joining this event. We are gonna write out the answers. So Delton has been making a lot of notes here, and we will make like a test answer document and provide that later once it's edited out. And I will remind everyone about the election timeline. So the voting is gonna end on May 25th at midnight UTC. So be sure to cast your vote before that. And all the info is in the blog post you can find from komodoplatform.com. And also there's the Vote 2022 channel. You can find all the info and links for there to find the candidate profiles and to talk to candidates, and you can ask questions there. So we are gonna keep that channel open. So just continue asking questions there, and candidates can still like introduce themselves and keep pitches there. So that is all for now. Look forward to the next event. So thanks again for joining, and big thanks to the Komodo team for joining. Thanks for Tony, thanks to CA33, thanks to Polycryptoblog and SMK and PTYX.
Thank you as well for hosting, and yeah, thank everybody who attended. Thank you all soon.
Thank you for coming.
Yep,
And,
sucks. Thank you, Ron.
Thanks, guys, and good luck to everybody that's a candidate.
Thanks.
Great
Yeah,
choice.
thanks everyone.